Okay, the recording has started, and this is the May 5th, 2020 Rook Community Meeting. We'll go ahead and start off here with the current milestones. In 1.2, we are not planning on doing currently any patch releases for 1.2, so I don't think there's much to talk about there. But we are planning on doing a 1.3 patch release. So let's go ahead and open that board there and get an update on what's going to be included or what we're waiting for. Travis, do you have an update for that?
Yep, I think we got the main things in, and I'm not sure anything would block the patch release now, but I'd like to understand a couple more better. Like this Helm chart update seems to be a nagging issue. That at the same time, that might be older versions of Helm that are causing that. So, we might just ask people to use a newer version of Helm or else a workaround. I think that was the conclusion of that, but I was out yesterday, so I may be forgetting. Was that? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I haven't looked at his. Oh wait, that was. Yeah, that one says just they need a newer version of Helm.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't remember if there was a newer issue.
Was that an issue between like using Helm 2 and Helm 3?
No, it was even an older version of Helm 2 that was causing it. Like a newer version of Helm 2, he claimed would fix it.
Okay, that's good then.
Yeah, because what a couple of these Helm issues were caused by is that we, in a patch release, we had some changes to the Helm chart where we brought the Helm specs in line with our common.yaml. They've gotten out of sync since there's nothing that checks if they're the same specs. So anyway, we brought them up to date, and then there were some changes that just apparently weren't compatible with older versions of Helm in that upgrade process.
I see. Yeah, it's so if that's just within Helm v2, I'm kind of curious about what the distribution of versions of Helm 2 that people are using. But I mean, it's kind of reasonable to expect if they use a fairly recent one. But within the Helm user ecosystem, like having to support both v2 and v3 and the different functionality and like affordances that each have is kind of a pain too, if you have to do things like CRDs and hooks and stuff like that. So the Helm ecosystem is kind of a little rough right now, I think.
Because of all that support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other issues to bring up here? Which ones you think are required for 1.3.3?
So there's one in review right now. That one, if you're scaling down the Ceph MDSs, which happens during an upgrade, I think there's a bad command in there that causes that to fail. So I think that's a good one we need. I'm not sure if it's ready yet, but Seb and Blaine have changes requested on it, and it was just pushed yesterday, I think, an update to it. So I guess Blaine and Seb, if you want to take another look at that.
That Kim, Blaine and Kim.
You're right, Kim. Yeah.
All right. Do we have a target for what when we think the 1.3.3 will go out? Just later on this week.
Why don't we say Thursday? Let's give a couple of days to get fixes in, and before give us a day buffer before the weekend.
All right, sounds good. All right, any other thoughts on 1.3?
Let's see, go back to the board there. I think, well, the one in progress there for the dashboard, that's not really in progress. I think that's just a Ceph issue that we're waiting for a new Octopus release for. And then the object store buckets, that one, I can't remember. I'll look at that again before the patch release. But Yeah,
Yeah, there's just one coming too. Just one that one patch I sent today. I'm about to merge the one on master, so we should get a backport pretty soon in within a minute, and then merge it today. So we're good to go with this one too.
Yep, sounds good. And if other fixes come in before Thursday, yeah, we'll just pick them all up.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, last week EdgeFS had a couple of fixes in there that they're interested in. I haven't heard from them about anything or an urgent need to get the patch release out, but I'll ping them just to confirm.
Cool. But they got their fixes in now?
Right, I believe
Perfect.
all was in that they were planning on. Or there's no one from EdgeFS here today, right? Okay.
Not that I saw the participants list.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, let's move then ahead to the community topics. So an update on graduation. So Aaron Boyd started our due diligence document template, and then Travis did a lot of work to fill out some of those sections. And I think the only section that may need some more content, I think, is the alternative projects in the landscape and how they compare to Rook. I broke down some of the ones I thought were most relevant, but I didn't add further content on them. And I expect that there'd be at least like one or two, sentences comparison of the high level approaches of what those projects do versus what Rook does, just to flesh it out a little further. So I think that's probably content that needs to continue, I would expect. What do you think about that, Travis?
Yeah, I guess it'd be good to hear Saad's perspective on how much detail, but hopefully more than one or two sentences isn't needed.
Yeah, not like a detailed competitive analysis or something like that.
Because I mean, the storage space, it's pretty competitive. I think that's obvious already. So I don't know, how much do we need to go into that besides even listing them? Maybe we're done, right?
Yeah, well, perhaps, yeah. So Saad has replied to, participated in the comments on that doc too. So if we added a comment there, I'm sure he would
Okay.
give his opinion. So I had resolved a couple of comment threads in that doc that Saad had responded to or agreed to. So he's been participating.
Cool.
And then next steps would be to finish that document, and that since Saad and Aaron are part of or chairs of the SIG storage group, and they're part of that document and part of the process there, that we'll just get their buy-in, see if there's anything else needed from them. And then as a SIG or as Saad, the TOC member, I think would then take the next steps to I think we need Saad's input here, but either we need to start an official public comment period by sending an email to the TOC mailing list, that it's not just for the TOC, but it's like TOC business items that hundreds of people are subscribed to officially start a 2-week comment period, since we've then met all the prerequisites finally. Or Saad can call a vote, but we'll get his opinion on what is the next step that he thinks we need to do, or if there's any other surprise next steps.
Right. We've been through surprises already.
Cool. So yeah, but next step, the immediate next step is to finish off or get to some level of sufficient completion the alternative projects section.
I had the impression that once we had the due diligence doc, Saad could call the vote, but yeah, he'd have to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking or hoping. But then I remember Amy had made a comment of in talking with about like the news and press releases and stuff like that, like from the CNCF marketing team. She was saying that that the 2-week comment period hasn't started yet, so it's going to be at least another 2 weeks independent of the due diligence document. So there's cats and they need herding. Fun times.
Right.
Okay, and so then the Google Summer of Code we have a great announcement there to share. So the Google Summer of Code period is, the application process and review period is done. And we selected a proposal from all of the proposals that were submitted. So Ahmad is on the call here today. And Ahmad's proposal for rewriting the NFS operator to use controller runtime, and then a whole bunch of reliability, stability, scalability fixes associated with that as well, are things that Ahmad will be tackling this this summer. So welcome to the call, Ahmad. If you have audio, it's good to have you here.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for your proposal and your interest in the project. We're definitely excited to work with you. So Ashish and Rohan will be mentoring Ahmad as well. And we already have a Slack conversation going to start the community bonding period, where Ahmad will get more involved in the project and start with some maybe small fixes to just get more familiar with everything and ready to start more of the harder design and more challenging, bigger items for the summer here. But we have had 2 awesome summers before with Google Summer of Code, and I am expecting the third one to be just as awesome. Ahmad, where are you located? Are you in Indonesia?
Yep.
Nice, awesome, man. I went to Bali like just a couple months ago and had an awesome time there. Yeah, I love Indonesia. It was a wonderful place.
Must have been before lockdown.
Yes, that was in the before times. that was before quarantine.
Before COVID.
Yeah, I hope you're staying safe over there, Ahmad. Cool.
So what time zone is that? Is it like 1 a.m. there or something?
Sorry?
In Indonesia, just curious what time it is? The middle of the night right now?
23.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Late.
Yes.
Late, but not terrible.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for joining, especially because it's so late today. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So we'll with the mentors, we'll talk and we'll figure out like the good times to meet and to talk that work for all of us, for everyone's times, so that it makes sense. And then Rohan, I know at least. And Ashish, are you in what time zone are you in?
I and Rohan are in the same time zone, Zared.
Nice, cool.
And
So that'll be
IST.
really productive then.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, cool. Thanks for that proposal again, Ahmad, and we'll have a great summer.
Thanks.
All right. Travis, is this your roadmap item here, sir?
It is. Yeah, a week or two ago, I was realizing that the roadmap hasn't been updated since like 1.2, so it's out of date, and we need to get it back into a useful form. So if for the different operators that have work in progress, I know. I'll plan on updating the SEP section, and we've got NFS operator now and EdgeFS, at least sections. I'd like to get those updated. We can follow up offline. Just wanted to put that out there.
Nice. And is there, one way to possibly solicit feedback is to, just start a pull request and people can comment on, some of the expected work items?
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and honestly, if we just go ahead and merge the first version and then others open their own PRs, right? But it is nice to have a consistent roadmap also, if we can update multiple at the same time.
Cool. Sounds good, Travis. And then I think you added a KubeCon item
That was me.
here.
That
Was
was
that
me.
you, Alexander?
Yep.
Yeah, but I think Truls will also talk a lot during it. Well, it's where do we have it? I received an email. As far as I know, I wasn't the only one. Jared, I think you received one as well. Travis, well, speakers for KubeCon received one, and they want a response till May 15th.
Yeah, that's what I
While talking
remembered.
about that, it kind of came up with like what exactly kind of are the topics, if you will, so that we're going to talk about in regards to the intro and deep dive presentation. To be specific, if any storage backends want to bring up any special topics during intro and deep dive, and what we would need to ask for if we can add additional speakers for the eventual event, if, for example, someone from, well, EdgeFS wants to say something during the intro and or deep, well, in vice versa. So, or someone else from the community would have something.
Yeah, I think that would be really critical if we can make sure we get multiple people from other storage providers on those talks too, even if we couldn't get their names on the official agenda.
Yeah, and I don't see any problem with that because the format here they mentioned is the talks are going to all be recorded. They will not be live presentations. So I don't know exactly what software or format they are recommending to use to record the talks, but you could just, anybody can just, that makes sense to, and wants to participate in that can, talk during a given time slot. And once we figure out what the, overall structure should be.
Yep. We shouldn't forget though that it's not just be there for the recording. It's also be there while it's aired.
Q&A
kind of thing. Yeah, Q&A part, right?
Yep.
So that would be a thing to keep in mind, and that's why I contacted Travis and got forwarded to Jared, because at least in the survey I have to answer the please let us know by so and so on. In this short form, there's the question for time zone. So if we want to get other people as well on board as well, we should take that into consideration for that form as well. And we should get an answer before, well, let us know by Friday, May 15th. So till end of next week.
Next Friday.
So I would say let's try to get everybody that wants to talk. Let's, ping Jared, Travis, or me, and then we'll maybe we can set up a Slack channel or something, and then take it there on who's going to talk what in the intro and deep dive talk /section, and then work from there on. Also with what time zone is best for us. So,
we can ask we can ask the storage providers channel if we haven't already about who wants to participate or share things there. So that'd be a good channel to at least ask that question there.
Oh yeah, right. Good point. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so May 15th, next Friday, as Alex said, is the deadline for speakers to, I said reconfirm, because this is the second time we've had to confirm or reconfirm our speaking intent with like the dates changing and everything changing from the virtual events and all this sort of stuff. So cool. We'll follow up on that, and we'll figure out the speakers or topics and stuff, so we can collaborate on that at the storage providers channel or a shared Google Doc or something like that. All right.
I'm definitely curious to see how KubeCon goes this time. If it ends up being like the biggest KubeCon ever because it's virtual, or if it's light because people aren't as excited about virtual.
I'm pretty curious about that too. Like it's obviously losing a lot of value by not being able to be in person and, just meet people randomly in the hallways and, socialize and connect and stuff in the booths. Yeah, like it's going to miss a lot of value, I think. But, and also, the talks, they're all going to be recorded and published anyways. You can watch them anytime. So, unless you really want to do like a Q&A with the speaker, like when it's being done live, that's one thing, but it seems like a lot of value is kind of lost in virtual format. I was looking forward to going to Amsterdam too.
The swag, right?
Yeah, I heard people talk about digital swag. I was like, what would I I'm not even
I
keen
have-
on physical swag. I don't know what I want digital swag.
I have this ebook for you, Jared.
You got an
wanna
ebook?
take-
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. I love swag. I'm like Steve Leon and bring an extra suitcase for swag.
I will.
Oh, that boy. I miss that guy.
Or as my colleague would say, well, I went to a conference and I got everything in money worth in t-shirts back. 50, 60 shirts.
It's a transaction.
Wow. Yeah.
That's fun. Okay, admission controllers.
Yep. In the, excuse me, in the huddle just before this, we were talking about it. I just wanted to bring it up here as well. And Blaine really brought up this point. Blaine, do you want to speak to it actually? Or,
yeah, I can speak to it. I had some concerns about having the Rook operator create the admission webhooks. In that, in looking around last week in Istio's documentation, which is what I posted there, they talk about how an actor with the ability to create admission webhooks can effectively like create some sort of ability for themselves to inspect all traffic to the Kubernetes API, and even modify like what happens with that traffic for mutating webhooks. And I think that like something we saw with the Helm version 2 was people were very concerned about the permissions that Tiller had in their cluster, and I think we're seeing a situation sort of like that here in Rook, where there's a bit of feature creep, and this is not necessarily feature creep, but there is some scope creep here that doesn't need to be in the operator itself, that I think is more secure being in a manifest that a user creates on their own, and that way Rook isn't requiring that more permissions, especially the permissions for creating webhooks, be added to the cluster, that only users who currently can create webhooks will still be able to create webhooks, at the expense that it won't be a sort of like one-click user experience to update. But I think that security gap or security hole opened is worth that slight more difficulty. Did all of that make sense?
yeah, and if I were to put it in my words, I'd say the admission controller permissions that the operator would need, they're kind of, well, they're pretty high security level, kind of like Rook used to just have admin permissions and to create RBAC and things, and that was obviously not good from a security perspective. So we went kind of the other way, and RBAC is not going to be created by the operator. Basically, the operator should not have too many permissions, is the point. Even if it means the usability goes down a little bit, or it's not as smooth. So I think in this case, yes, it's clear that admission controller privileges are too high for the operator to have. That's the point. So yeah, I wonder if we can still find a way to simplify the experience. So I want to take a closer look at that, but
Yeah, I would definitely echo the sentiments there from Blaine and Travis, and definitely support that not having those permissions to be able to generate webhooks and install those automatically and stuff like that is good from a security posture for sure.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a note to Travis's comment about user experience, I have been sort of starting to wonder if we should be paying more attention to Helm. I think that does have the potential of getting us a lot of like help for the user experience in installation and updates.
Right. so they don't have to deal with the YAMLs directly and things.
Yeah, that's a much larger conversation to be sort of teased out separately from here, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think, maybe one, well, in the interest of supporting Helm better, I mean, we have an integration test that just installs Helm. Like, we should also have one that does a Helm upgrade of the operator. And then we need a Helm chart for our CRDs and things. Yeah, there's a lot more we can do with Helm.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a, check a box sort of thing of like, yes, we have Helm support, and that's one way to get the operator there. But, we've kind of at least had somewhat of a, maybe you could say a preference for, using or applying the YAML directly instead. But Helm has a fairly good feature set for, templating and configuration and management and stuff like that. So that's interesting to look into more. Thanks for bringing that up, Blaine.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. All right, and in the PR section, Travis, you mentioned the MDS scaling down pull request earlier in the call, but you might not have gotten the full attention to it that you needed.
No, I think that's good. We already mentioned it for that. Yep.
Cool. Okay, then that is everything in the agenda document. Does anybody have other topics that they would like to bring up right now? All right, cool. Then we can go ahead and adjourn for the week.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it. Have a good
Thank
week.
you. Bye.
See ya.
Have a good day. Bye.
See ya.